Welcome back, everybody, to A Cow's Opinion. What is A Cow's Opinion, you may ask? Well, it's where I look at the world of video games and give you my opinion on everything good, bad, and weird happening there, and just let you know what I think. But don't worry too much about it because it is A Cow's Opinion, it is a moot point. It doesn't matter. And today we have more sideways news. But first of all, Kojima has been turning down ridiculous buyout offers every day to stay indie. By Mr. Owen S. Good. The maker of Death Stranding, as we all know, was let go, or technically more forced out of his position at Konami, back when Konami decided that video games were a waste of time. They seem to have recently fixed that, but, he's pretty much done with working for big developers. And he's had a lot of success, not only with Death Stranding, but he has been teasing his new game project, and it may have already even leaked a little. So that's something really to look forward to. But he wants folks to know he is a resolutely independent video games developer and has been refusing buyout offers that are extravagant. Some of these offers are ridiculously high prices, he says. But it's not that I want the money, I want to make what I want to make. That's why I created the studio. Now, remember, he lost some of the credit. They even took his name off of the last Metal Gear that they made, and they haven't been able to make another Metal Gear since. That really terrible Left Alive, the last thing, God, it was bad. But basically, he has been talking a lot about, rumor, culture, blah, blah, blah. They brought up his relationship working with PlayStation, Sony Interactive, because Death Stranding is a PlayStation exclusive. I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding about Kojima Productions, he said. I created this company in 2015 after leaving Konami. It was 100% out of my pocket. No funding from anyone whatsoever, so independent. Which is weird because Death Stranding is still a PlayStation exclusive and you think you'd want a bigger audience. Now, he is close physical to their world headquarters as well as their HQ, which makes people think we are part of Sony. But as this summer's announcement regarding Microsoft indicates, we are indies. We have no affiliations whatsoever, and we are not backed by anyone. And every day, I am approached by offers all over the world to buy our studio. Now, there have been rumors that he's been offered a low to medium 9 figures. That's like hundreds of millions of dollars for his studio. But he is just, he just wants to make games. He doesn't want to deal with people above him who don't understand. The guy makes games that are profitable. He just doesn't want a bunch of lawyers or executives looking over his shoulder and saying, hey, shove more monetization in here. Which I think is really good. And really, as long as I'm alive, I don't think I will ever accept those offers. So good on him. One assumes Kojima's posture comes from how his tenure ended with Konami back in 2015, when the publisher jettisoned him and his ideas in favor of making pachinko machines and burning Pro Evolution Soccer to the ground. It has not turned out well for Konami, and that's why it looks like we're getting a bunch of Silent Hill stuff, and why we may actually get more games from them. Amazingly, pachinko, while very popular in Japan, is probably not enough for a company that wants massive revenues worldwide. But good on Kojima for actually saying it's not about the money and then living that way. We all know a lot of people who do things. In sideways game news, Netflix has said that Henry Cavill, the Geralt in the Witcher Netflix series, is going to be replaced by Liam Hemsworth starting in Season 4. Now, Season 3 is going to come in 2023, and it's Cavill's final bow. This weekend, he said that he is actually going to be playing Superman again, and Netflix also said, hey, we're still making The Witcher. Now, this is a long article by Mr. Matt Patches, so we're not going to go into everything. But in the article, he basically says that while he's a huge fan, he's decided that he is going to lay down his medallion and swords for Season 4, and is passing on the torch to Liam. Now, Liam has gotten a lot of not. Why did you choose him? Because he's not really one of the first people you would think for this. Now, the article thinks maybe Hemsworth is his younger version or the product of some transformative magic, but I really think that they're just going to move forward with him in the role. I don't think that they're going to actually explain any kind of switch, because you just can't. And it goes on to talk about other times, like in Game of Thrones or CW's The Batwoman, when they had to change the actors and how they handled it. But it feels more like a mutual decision. Now, The Witcher is an enormously time-consuming show, this article goes on, and Cavill is a busy movie star. And that's why it maybe makes a little sense for him to move on. But more troublesome are the rumors that he may not be entirely happy working on The Witcher, and that there was conflict behind the scenes on how seriously to take the source material. And one staff writer, former staff writer, has admitted that during his time on the show, he was surprised to learn many involved with the making of the series didn't really care for The Witching. I've been on shows, mainly Witcher, where some of the writers were not, or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mocking the source material. It's a recipe for disaster and bad morale. Fandom, as a litmus test, checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Look, you don't have to be a massive fanboy, but if you're going to be doing something that's going to be your entire job for a long time, you should at least like it. And this goes on to a lot of the stuff that Hollywood has been doing recently, where we're like, why are you changing these characters? What are you doing? The Resident Evil series on Netflix was one of those things that I can come to mind, where they just took the name and massively changed everything. And even the Japanese fans didn't like it, which is why I got one season. It was canceled like less than a week or two after it debuted, if I remember. Because the fans just hated it. It was dumb and terrible. Now, The Witcher's been a bit more loyal. Now, the showrunner is not one of those people, and she has delved into her love for the author's work. And how season 1 she got to talk more about Ciri and Yennefer. And when we discuss 2 and 3, and they go on to and Netflix has clearly loves what she's done, asking her to oversee the upcoming Witcher Blood Origins miniseries and expanding her involvement with the company on Witcher and non-Witcher souls. But Cavill has hinted at his frustrations with the depiction of Geralt as a character. It's just the way it is. And it goes on how he was really unhappy with the line. Henry was about a scene where his horse dies in season 2. Henry was so unhappy with the line. Finally, I said, you know what? You come up with something. I trust you. You know this material so well. You know the book so well. You don't even have to pitch it on me. And when he came back the next day with a beautiful speech that's at the end of Sword of Destiny, and Geralt is facing death in such a pitch-perfect moment. Henry Cavill is one of the best. He's a big nerd like we are. You can listen to this man talk about Warhammer for days and not be bored. He's so passionate. Now, while The Witcher may have been Netflix's blockbuster-sized play to a rival Game of Thrones, it is not a clone. The series is grungy, gory, sensitive, and far away from the ego shenanigans of the Iron Flow. There are big, dumb fantasy monsters and moments of fairy tale delicacy. And it goes on to, this was a really cool series, as Geralt not only slays, but wrestles with demons and struggles to be the surrogate dad of an up-and-coming ass kicker. Cavill goes deep in each episode amid slobbering demon college. Is there a show without him? I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't think that the people they hired to write the show got it. I think that they were trying to dumb down a really cool, deep thing. And Cavill said, look, I could be Superman, where they actually seem to be willing to make changes and respect the law. Or I can be here and watch something I love get trashed. That's the cow's opinion. Is Liam Hemsworth going to be able to carry it? I have no idea. I'm hopeful, but not optimistic. I don't know if I can recall him ever playing something like that's going to really carry anything. But we will have to see. It's unfortunate because this was a really cool show. And The Witcher, they're making more Witcher games, guys. We're getting remakes too. So this is probably about the worst time that this could happen. But as I've said, and this article goes on to say, maybe we can just leave Geralt at season 3, or maybe we can only focus on Ciri. But you can't focus on Ciri after season 3 because so much of her development during Geralt's story happens that 3 seasons is not going to be enough to explain everything. It's unfortunate. The article says people want The Witcher. Give them The Witcher. But maybe they couldn't. Or maybe he was like, I just can't watch you destroy this anymore. Hollywood really needs to understand that when you adapt a popular game or book or anything like that, you can give us that on the big screen. We don't need you to fix it. We don't need you to make it better. We don't need your beautiful, I think it should have always been this, because you're not going to make it better. You're not going to fix it. Countless fans wouldn't love something if it was broken. And you're not a genius. You're not going to fix or improve something. So you just got to let it alone. But what do you think about this? Is there a show that you can think of that was absolutely ruined? Or do you actually think Liam would be a good Witcher? What about Kojima? And do you honestly think that he can stay independent at a time when Microsoft and Sony seem to be buying up every major studio? What do you think about his vision of video games and how his next one is supposed to change them in a massive way? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, and play more games because games are awesome. Have a good Sunday, and I'll see you next time. You deserve the awesome.